The room
Stay
was
close.
designed to
We
intimidate.
need to get through this
Glass
crowd.
walls,
I'm with you,
long
but what's
polished
happening?
table,
I'll explain
names
later.
etched
Just keep
into
moving.
leather chairs like
You look
trophies.
incredible tonight.
Every
Not as
person inside
incredible as
knew
you.
this meeting
Come
would
here.
decide careers, futures, and reputations. And then there was the stranger. She stood near the door, clutching a worn canvas bag, eyes lowered,
I
shoulders
couldn't have
pulled
done it
inward
without
as
you.
if trying to
You
take
were
up less
incredible
space.
up there.
No
I love you.
badge, no title, no seat at the table. Security had brought her in after an accusation surfaced. Missing documents, leaked data, a convenient target. No one spoke to her. No one needed to. Whispers traveled faster than facts in places
This
like
feels
this.
like a dream.
She doesn't belong here, probably desperate. Someone
I love
always
you.
cracks. When the CEO entered, the room snapped to attention. She didn't rush. She never did. Calm had always been her weapon. Her eyes scanned the room once, then stopped. On the stranger, that pause alone unsettled everyone. The board chair cleared his throat. We'll proceed. There's an internal breach. Evidence points to the CEO
You
raised
look
a hand.
incredible tonight.
Silence fell
Not as
instantly. She
incredible
walked
as you.
past the table,
Come here.
past executives, past legal counsel. She stopped in front of the stranger. Every camera in the room turned. Then she said the words no one was prepared to hear. She's with me. Confusion rippled. Someone laughed nervously, assuming it was a metaphor. The CEO didn't smile. She's not a
Stay
suspect,
close.
she continued.
We need to get
She's
through this
family.
crowd.
I'm with
The
you,
word hit
but
harder
what's
than any
happening?
accusation.
I'll explain later.
Family,
Just
the
keep
board
moving.
chair stiffened. With respect, this is highly inappropriate. The CEO finally looked at him. What's inappropriate is how quickly you needed a scapegoat. The stranger's hands trembled slightly. She hadn't expected this. No one ever stood between her and power before. Security hesitated. The CEO turned to them. You can leave. They did. Now the room
I
felt
couldn't
smaller,
have done it
heavier.
without you.
You were
One
incredible up there.
executive leaned
I
forward.
love you.
If you're implying favoritism, I'm implying protection, the CEO said. There's a difference. The stranger swallowed. Her voice stayed inside her chest. The CEO placed a hand lightly on her shoulder. Not ownership, reassurance. This woman has never taken anything that wasn't hers, she said. But she has given more than any of you realize. Eyes narrowed, pens paused, suspense stretched thin. The board chair folded his hands. Then why is her access
feels like
badge
a
linked to the
dream.
leaked files? The CEO didn't answer immediately.
I love you.
That silence was deliberate. Because, she said slowly, someone needed it to be. The room shifted. A few executives exchanged glances. Too quick, too guilty. The stranger finally looked up. Her eyes held fear, yes, but also resolve, the kind that comes from surviving quietly. I didn't steal anything, she said softly. No one acknowledged her. The CEO did. I know. She turned back to the room. This company was built on trust before it was built on profit. Somewhere along the way, some of you forgot that. One executive scoffed. This is emotional theater. The CEO nodded once. You're right, this is emotional because people's lives are involved. In theater, that's what liars rely on. A screen lit up behind her, not yet revealing anything, just the company logo. The stranger's heart pounded. She had no idea what was coming next, only that the CEO's presence felt like a shield. You all see a stranger, the CEO said. I see someone who chose silence over self-preservation. That line landed hard, silence over self-preservation. The board chair frowned. You're making claims without evidence. The CEO smiled slightly, not warmly. Oh, I have evidence, she said, just not the kind you expected. She turned to the stranger. You don't have to say anything, not today. The stranger shook her head, barely. I can wait. The CEO studied her for a second, then nodded. That mutual understanding said more than words ever could. Outside the glass walls, employees watched through blurred reflections, sensing something historic was unfolding. Inside, the air felt electric. The CEO straightened. This meeting isn't about theft, it's about betrayal. And before the day ends, the truth will belong to everyone, not just those who know how to hide it. She took her seat at the head of the table. And for the first time, she gestured for the stranger to sit beside her. No one objected. No one dared. The stranger sat, heart racing, still unsure why kindness had chosen her. But something in the CEO's eyes made one thing clear. This wasn't mercy. This was justice quietly waiting its turn. The screen behind the CEO finally changed, not charts, not profits, emails. Time-stamped, internal, redacted names slowly unblurred. A hush fell so deep it felt intentional. These files were leaked 6 years ago, the CEO said evenly, long before I took this position. The breach nearly destroyed a department, cost innocent employees their jobs, and buried a truth that should have surfaced then. She paused. It didn't. Eyes drifted to the stranger. The board chair shifted. This is irrelevant history. No, the CEO replied. This is unfinished. She clicked again. A single email filled the screen. Subject line, we can make this disappear. The sender's name belonged to someone still sitting confidently at the table. The stranger's breath caught. She remembered that day clearly. The offer, the quiet pressure. The promise that no one would ever know if she just signed one document and walked away. I was a temp, the stranger said, voice steady now. No leverage, no protection. I found the evidence by accident. No one interrupted. They told me if I reported it, I'd be blamed. If I stayed silent, they'd fix everything. Her fingers tightened together. They didn't fix anything, the CEO nodded. She came to me back then. I was a junior executive, no power, just a choice. Murmurs spread. She gave me the files, the CEO continued. And then she did something I didn't expect. The room leaned forward without realizing it. She walked away. The stranger met their eyes. I didn't want credit. I just didn't want innocent people hurt. One executive laughed weakly. So you let corruption continue? The CEO's gaze snapped to him. No, she gave me time. She advanced the slide. A chain of investigations appeared. Quiet audits, gradual removals, promotions denied without explanation, careers stalled. I spent years dismantling the damage carefully, the CEO said. Because exposing it all at once would have punished the wrong people. She looked around the table. Some of you assumed you were untouchable. Silence answered. The board chair stood. If this is an accusation, it's a conclusion, the CEO said, and today was the day it needed a face. She turned to the stranger. They brought her in to make her the villain. I let them, gasps rippled. I needed to see who would stay quiet, who would lie easily, who would watch an innocent person stand alone. Her eyes hardened. You showed me, security re-entered, not for the stranger this time. Names were called, chairs scraped back. Shock turned to protest, then resignation. Through it all, the stranger sat still, stunned by how much noise truth made once it was allowed to speak. When the room finally cleared, only a few remained. The board chair looked defeated. Why protect her? She's nothing to the company. The CEO stood slowly. She's everything. She faced the stranger fully now. You chose integrity when no one was watching. You protected people who never knew your name. You paid for it with obscurity. The stranger's eyes burned.
Tonight.
I didn't expect this.
Not as incredible as you.
I know, the CEO said softly. That's why it matters. She turned back to the board. This company will not reward loud loyalty. It will honor quiet courage. The meeting ended without applause. Outside, employees learned the truth in fragments, rumors turning into relief. Jobs restored, apologies issued, systems rebuilt. The stranger was offered a position, senior title, corner office. She declined. I like working where I'm needed, she said, not where I'm visible. The CEO smiled. That's why you'll always have a place here. They walked out together, not as symbols, but as people who understood the cost of doing the right thing too early. By the next morning, headlines praised leadership, transparency, reform. No one mentioned the stranger by name. She didn't mind. Kindness, she had learned, didn't need witnesses to be real. And power, when used well, didn't crush the unseen. It stood beside them, quietly changing everything.